Wiggle, wiggle.
Like.
All right, subscriber request on a vid for the E3. To answer your question in a quick manner, yes, this tank is good. This is probably one of the best frontally armored tanks. If you're looking for tips and tricks on vids for tanks you may be struggling with, go over to my playlist for tips and tricks that might be able to help. So diving right into the E3. Right off the bat here, just to go through my thought process, I'm wanting to go where my team is. Because I'm a support and I'm kind of trying to stay as far out, kind of on the right side, because right now my weak spot on the left is exposed and I don't want to get detected because they'll easily get shots off me. So I'm kind of going like curving around, but in a way to really make sure I'm getting up in front into the battle, because like I said in a previous video, there's two different types of destroyers. Ones that you just have to play more of a supportive role in the back to, suppress, provide that cover fire from a distance. The E3 is not that tank. The E3 is much more of a frontline brawling aggressor, but you cannot be alone. So once again, when you're a tank destroyer, you're still having to play that supportive role. So you still have to be very conscientious of where your team is, where the enemy is. I make sure that I still have my team around me and with me, because that is what's going to help protect my rear and sides. The E3 has no armor from the rear and sides. So from right here, this mouse has no shots on me. The cupola on this thing is probably one of the best cupolas in the game. I mean, it's practically impenetrable, super difficult. This mouse just does not have a shot. And for this tank, I typically just like using the gun rammer just because I'm up front brawling. This tank already has good gun depression, and I just want to just pump out those shells, just get them going, because I'm much more on the front line. So you can see here, I'm just continuing to push, but I've got teams around me which are keeping the enemy in a bad position, and I'm just going for one of these, even though I'm caught in the middle between it. That shot was just awesome, the T62 and that guy. So you're moving with your team, you're playing that supportive role, you're on the front lines, and you're much more of an aggressor. Now when it comes to the E3, you mainly want to try to protect that lower part of your hull, because that lower part is a weak point. But like how I was so close to the mouse, I purposely got myself in that position because he's a tall tank. When I get somewhat close to him, he doesn't have shots on me. You'll notice like he didn't even really bother with me, and he probably figured he was in a really bad spot. So here, second replay, once again, I'm kind of looking around, being very conscientious, because if my entire team would have gone left, I would have had to go that way. I could not have gone to this bridge, this position of where I'm going now, because it would have easily taken their bat chat or someone just to come over and just wipe me out. This is a very slow tank, so you really have to move with your team. So now, in this position, the stinking fence is always in my way, so I just kind of blindly shot around just to see. But even from other destroyers, like that destroyer, that E4 taking a shot at me, I could easily bounce around off from him. So I'm kind of using this bush, but I don't want to just rush forward in this thing. I know I had said I'm an aggressor, but once again, I have to use my team for support as I'm also supporting them, because if I just rush in, then they can easily flank me, and once they get my sides, it's basically game over. And the thing is, I know, just being aware of the map, they have lights and mediums on the left side, and I can't quite push on this bridge. Your gun depression is not great. You have some, but I could easily start getting shot and depleting my hit point pool if I expose myself on the left side too much. So here, once again, here's a mouse shin, okay? So tier 9, even weaker than the mouse. And this guy, if I get up close and personal, he's just not gonna have a shot. This is a extremely bad position for him. And yeah, he just happened to turn his turret when I shot. Very smart of him. But here I am up close, personal. I am completely utilizing in my position my strengths. And here I'm backing up because I need to protect that under part of my belly, that lower part of the hull. And in this position, when I have that lower part protected, I am almost invincible in this round. Now, if you are facing an E3, my recommendation is when they are in this invincible position, when you're facing them from the front and you don't have that undershot, you're not going to be able to, unless you're a Yagaroo or an Object 268 or something that has excellent penetration, shoot just an HE at the cupola. You won't pen it, but the splash damage from the roof is one of the only ways you can actually damage this thing. So here I am, I'm keeping the enemy in with kind of a view that I can quickly switch back and forth if my team needs help over here on the bridge, or if my team needs help in this alleyway right next to me to my left. So I'm trying to keep myself in a position where I can quickly rotate back and forth, but you notice as I go and focus on the right, I push up just a little bit so that my weaker armor is not exposed. And then when I do support this alleyway off here to the left, now I'm not pushing on this IS-8 because that exposes my weakness. The IS-8 has a turret, I don't. If I push him, he could easily just kind of move around the building and we just play ring around the rosy, and that's not what you want. Here I'm just kind of in trouble. I was trying to get back into that invincible position, and I just kind of choke. But it's all about understanding your tank strengths and weaknesses, understanding the enemy's strengths and weaknesses. And when doing that, and you consistently can put your tank strengths in a strong position and expose those enemy weaknesses more and more, then this is the kind of situations that can put you in really good spots. So anyway, do I love the E3? Yes, I really like the E3. I think it's a lot of fun. But like I said, you do have to move with your team. You're a supporter. You have to be conscientious of that. And this is the Muffin here. You guys stay cool and keep tanking.